A brand new car, a brand new van, a brand new project, a brand new year, everything is brand new. As you saw in the previous videos, so I've taken some things apart and I still have more to dismantle, and I want to start restoring it step by step. I want to rebuild this car meticulously. It's something I've wanted to do for a very long time. I have a great passion to build it exactly as I want, so I don't want to rush and just start making random modifications. I've been sitting here doing research to figure out how I should build it, what's the proper way to make it so I don't make too many mistakes, because errors are definitely going to happen. It's the very first time I'm doing something like this. The previous one was simply a makeshift solution. It wasn't any kind of special construction, but here I need to build a tiny home inside this van, so I want to do it as correctly as possible. For this reason, I've spoken with many people who have built vans to gather information. As you can see from the video's title, I'm telling you I installed heating in the van and I will install heating, but before I get to the heating, which we'll do later, I'll start with the insulation. I want to insulate the van. Some people told me to put in mineral wool, others suggested rock wool. Everyone, of course, has their own opinion on the subject. I personally prefer to talk to people I know, those who actually build vans. I was told what the best materials to use would be. I spoke with the experts at ican.gr who asked for my car's exact dimensions and the specific areas I wanted to insulate. They then told me precisely which materials I should use. They've sent them to me. I have them right here, and in this project you'll learn alongside me, so if someone wants to build a van later, they'll know some essential things. But I need to start stripping more parts before I begin insulating it. Just like I stripped the other door, the plastic parts, I want to strip this one too and take out the seat belts. I don't know exactly how they come off, but I'll figure it out. Very good tool. I love this tool. Oh my goodness. And one more final one down here. Today there's going to be a lot of unscrewing in general. Once I'm finished with this particular belt, I'll have to do the very same thing with the belt from that side. But first I need to remove the door's plastic panel to make it look like this one here, because I have to put insulation inside. They even put glue. How could they have known I'd want to remove them? The plastic is now off, so the proper insulation can go in here. I also need to take out the other seat belt and remove these components here, because insulation has to be installed above, just like it will be throughout the entire roof lining. I'm planning to insulate almost the entire vehicle, with the exception of the area where the seats are located and the front door panels. And all the screws, I'm putting them back in their proper places because they'll help me secure the things I'll be installing inside the car later on. And this section 2 is finally done. From this point backwards, the only thing remaining for me to take out is the flooring, the carpet. The next part now, this specific section right here, needs to be completely stripped down, so it can become exactly like this area, and then we can properly install the insulation. At first I thought I would need to remove the plastic as well, but ultimately that wasn't necessary, so I'm completely finished with the ceiling part, and to be able to start the insulation I just need to take out the carpet from underneath, which I still have to check where it's attached. It's time to get all the insulation installed. These things that were inside here aren't proper insulation, they're just small bits of insulation. I'll also leave the cable for the speakers right here. This material right here is Aritherm. It's what was suggested to me by everyone I talked to, as an alternative to the rock wool and mineral wool typically used in homes. In such a confined space, I don't believe it's healthy to be breathing these in without me being an expert or truly knowing. So this is what most people suggested to me. Aritherm, I'm going to cut it into smaller pieces and then carefully insert it into all the existing gaps. My goal is to completely insulate this entire empty space in the car right here to prevent too much cold from coming in from the outside, and also to keep the summer heat out. This specific type of insulation is designed specifically for filling these kinds of voids. For the rest of the pieces, you'll see later what we're going to put in here. We also need to pay a little attention because cables for the door and the connectors are running through. I finished up with the side panels, and over here I managed to fit small tiny pieces right behind all the cables, and I also managed to fill up the door panel. The only remaining section that I have left now is this one right here. I just need to carefully remove this plastic piece now. It has started to rain, not a torrential downpour, but it has definitely started to rain. However, I cannot stop now, and since I am still able to, I will begin to remove this plastic sheeting so I can install the insulation. It's amazing sometimes how strong your will can be for something you want to do. So strong that nothing affects you. It started raining just now, and yesterday it started raining when I wanted to go for a run. I said, no, I won't let the weather affect me. So I went even though it was raining, and I truly enjoyed it.
That's gone now too, but I dropped a screw, you see. Where has our little screw gone off to? Oh, there it is, I found it.
And I think after quite some effort I found how it opens from the inside, because later I want to make a contraption so I can open it from the inside too, but now I need to cut two pieces to put them back here. It has stopped drizzling, but essentially I'll have to take all of this out to be able to put the insulation I want both below and above. I may not have a garage or my own space to calmly fix my car as I would like, but I'm not ungrateful. I have power, it's sparkling clean now, and I shouldn't insulate this part here because this is the source from which we'll get the oil for the heating I'll install later. After I finished cleaning the car and picking up all the dust, the next material I'm going to apply, which will only be placed on the floor, is this one right here. It's both an insulator and designed to absorb the noises, specifically the sounds from the sheet metal. It's a self-adhesive strip so we can see how it's applied, and honestly it looks quite similar to what the car already has installed. So I'll try to put it where it's currently missing, and I'll place it in these specific areas to avoid the noises the wheels produce. And I truly want to see the difference from a palm barriers, because since I took out the plastics, the noises inside the car have generally grown louder. This, if I've understood correctly, keeps the sheet metal more stable so it won't make those noises when it's moving. I could of course also apply insulation right here, but since I've completed the main part and to avoid the rain catching me out tonight, I'll begin installing the insulation that will go both above and below. I must start from the ceiling, and this material is self-adhesive. And pocinka, with this material, the entire car will be covered, both top and bottom, and some areas around it. Even though it's raining outside, I've put most of the stuff inside the car, and I'll continue a bit more because I at least want to do the headliner, as that's the best spot right now. This here has aluminum foil on one side. The one I got is 1 centimeter thick, and it's like a gym mat. The material is rubber, and it's 4-hour thermal insulation. I need to calculate how much to put there. I touched it a little and it stuck to me. It has very strong adhesive, and that's good. I don't think you can easily remove it later if you want to, and there's no reason to remove it because this is waterproof material. It won't be affected by moisture, and it only does good. I wonder why cars aren't made like this from the factory with such insulation. Come on now, how much does it really cost? Of course, I am going to provide a link in the description for all of the materials that I am using to install the car's insulation. And it is incredibly helpful that it has these little grid squares on the back which help you to take the measurements for the spots where you want to add some extra pieces, just like I am doing right now. It cuts very easily indeed. The panel above the driver's seat is now ready, so I can attempt to put the headliner back in place. It started raining again, a sun shower, but I've completed the most important part of the insulation. Now only minor details remain.
It's been a few days since I was here again and installed the insulation, and I'll show you some changes I made. But before we do that, I really want to get some necessary repairs done on the car. The truth is, there have been so many comments, especially on TikTok, saying quite negative things about the car, but then again, there are just as many people saying very positive things. Because when you purchase a used car, it's almost always bound to have some issues. It definitely needs a bit of sorting out, and the Clio, when I first acquired it, had a few minor problems and certainly required mechanics to take a good look at it. The thing is, this time with this car, I want to do everything I possibly can myself, and anything I can't, I'll take to a mechanic. Oh, no, okay. The reason is that this way I'll get to learn a few things myself, and since I have Car Parts Guru as a collaborator who supports me with everything I might need, I can actually change some things on my own. So what's the situation now? The car, ever since I bought it, sometimes when it's cold and idling, it feels like it's misfiring, like it's slightly shaking. It doesn't always do it. Take a look at what's happening. I spoke to a mechanic friend of mine in Larissa who specializes in Nissans. He told me it could be the injectors, which was the very first thing we checked when we got the car, and they're perfectly fine. And he mentioned that if it's not that, it might be the glow plugs or the mass airflow sensor, and if it's none of those things, then we'll need to search for something else. So after I had checked the preheaters, the mass airflow sensor is this component right here, which contains a very sensitive internal sensor. And this is what essentially, from what I've been able to understand, measures and then signals exactly how much fuel and how much air the engine needs to take in, something along those lines. I'm not a mechanic myself, of course, but I do try to understand everything I can by reading on Google and doing my own research. And as a good friend of mine said, the more I get involved with this car, the more I love it, even more than the Clio. And I truly believe that's the truth as well. Here I have a brand new part that was sent to me by Car Parts Guru. Meanwhile, to some Nemal, it's really cold and rainy out here. This is the old one, and I'll keep it aside so we can put the new one in place. I'm all set here, so I'm gathering my tools and heading into the car. It's quite cold outside, but when I truly want to get something done, the weather doesn't affect me at all.
I remember I used to fix the Clio van even in the snow.
Honestly, the car sounds like it's running much better than before. Now they will see how it performs. I'll update you later on what happens, because even before it didn't always do this. It didn't always misfire. What I want to show you now is what I did back here. So I've put insulation in pretty much every spot. I've covered the entire ceiling up above. It's now ready for the wood to be installed. But here at the trunk door, because when it stays open and it rains, like last time when I was putting the insulation in, water gets in from certain spots. I put the insulation in a bag so it wouldn't get wet. But now it's time to install the heating in the van. I'll start it, but I don't know if I'll finish it today because it's a big process. This is the diesel heater that a company Vivo sent to me. From underneath it takes in diesel. It has an exhaust and an air intake here. Essentially this will be inside the car, taking in clean air from one side and blowing out warm air from the other. This way I'll have heating even if the car isn't running. After I conducted a thorough and comprehensive study of the car's overall layout, I then realized that the absolute most practical and convenient location to install it would undoubtedly be right here down by the passenger's feet, so that overall it won't take up too much valuable space. This is precisely where it absolutely has to be placed. The idea is that this hole will let it vent the air inside the van. The hose he had with him, this one here, doesn't fit. So I went and found a thinner one which fits exactly. What I need to do now, which is one of the hardest parts, is to drill a hole here in the car to install the diesel heater. It's time to drill a hole, but how would I ever make one if I didn't have the BLUETTI, which has truly saved me?
This particular spot is quite challenging. I'm even using a jigsaw for this, but I've managed to achieve something. I've already managed to cut out half of the hole. This is the particular hole. And this is the base for the diesel heater, which will be positioned something like this. Now I'll first stabilize the base so I can then install it properly and put the insulation in, because I removed all of this. I removed everything from under the car, as you see, to prevent any fire risk. I also insulated this whole area and got silicone that withstands high temperatures up to 300 degrees. It's the first time I've seen such silicone. I also went over it with silicone, and that's how the base has been created. I think I'll let it dry completely so I can then securely mount the diesel heater and continue with the construction. The most difficult part is almost done. There's another challenging part which might be easy, I don't know. I just haven't done it before, and that's taking fuel from the car. At that point I'm a bit anxious to see if I'll manage it easily or with difficulty. A few days later I decided to replace the car's belts because I had noticed they needed replacing, and immediately after I got to work removing a metal bar that once served as the base for the car seats, but now it was just an impediment to what I wanted to achieve. It finally came out. Next, I proceeded to install the exhaust system for the diesel heater, then I mounted its pump and carefully routed the fuel line. Only one final stage remained, to draw fuel directly from the car's main tank, which I managed to do with the help of a friend, and in the end, even though it was already approaching 1 in the morning, we were naturally impatient to perform the very first test run.
The pump is making a noise here.
It gives heat. We made it. Now you really
make it in the
you
oven.
need to make sure you do well. Just remember that most people told me you wouldn't be able to handle the heat in here.
After a few days and a lot of effort, the insulation is seen. Only the bottom part needs to be insulated, which is one of the next jobs, so the floor can go in afterwards and I can start customizing the van's interior. The heating is fine, I managed to install it. I was a bit stressed about it, to be honest. It needed modifications, it needed extra parts. Let's do a test run of the diesel heater so you can see in detail exactly how it works. Air comes in from this side and then it goes out from this side, ending up down here underneath. There was a hole and I ran it right under the seat and it will come out somewhere around here. So essentially the heat will be coming out from the floor. As you can clearly see, it doesn't bother you at all. It's quite comfortable overall. You can stretch your legs out and keep them just like this. It doesn't bother you and it's perfectly fine. Underneath the black part has a pipe, this one here for air intake, and another pipe which is its exhaust ending here. I've secured it in such a way that it's far from the ground, and there's a third small pipe in the middle for the fuel. Inside the Mappa, I've put its pump. It has its own pump built in. It also has a small control panel that will need to be permanently installed somewhere, which includes a thermostat to adjust the temperature we want and two wires, one positive, one negative. To test it, Avane, I can now power it directly from my car's battery Nano with the engine running. In a future video, you'll see the electrical work I'll do on the van, so it'll have permanent power. For now, I just wanted to do a test, and as we can see, it has started working, no? I can already feel it almost taking in air right here on a moment. Now we'll hear the pump starts working. It makes a small knocking sound there. So essentially the pump now draws fuel from the tank and sends it to the burner. So it can provide us with warm air inside the van. It has already started blowing from this vent, and what I can tell you for sure is that it will make it an oven in here. I won't have to worry about the outside, whether it's snowing or if it's freezing cold. I'll have a link for you in the description so you can find it. With the code I'll provide, you'll also get a small discount, and I truly believe it's worth the money. I'm so happy I managed it, that I installed it, and I can't wait to take trips from now on to the snow, to the mountains. Subscribe to see the progress, how I'll build the van, and I'll see you in the next video.